Om. 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Raghuji, your Gita Dhyana Shlokam, please. These Gita Dhyana Shlokas, Rinkuji, you will not find on any standard text. So I will send them to you on WhatsApp separately. You can start using them. As far as the text itself is concerned, you can use any text because very few variations, very little variations in the Bhagavad Gita. So there shouldn't be a problem. As far as a translation and a textbook to use, the reference book that we normally use is Gurudev's book, which is Swami Chinmayananda's book, is the ideal textbook for us to follow, since that is the viewpoint that I have learned. Not necessarily the only viewpoint. There are multiple viewpoints, but the one that I have learned and the one that I am sharing is Gurudev's view. So that is what we will be discussing. At the same time, while we go into this, I will try and bring in other viewpoints where there is a very large difference, so that we are more grounded in our approach to the divine. Yes, Raghuji, the Gita Dhyana Shlokas.
Hari Om. Can I be heard?
Yes, you are absolutely audible.
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सस्तुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतथा गान्धारणीनोत्पला कल्पिनग्राहवती कृपेण वहनीकर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदे कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथाल सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनपदैर्हरः प्रीपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततत्प्रतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. So, did we have some homework on this? We are in chapter 11, verse number 34, Rinkuji. Was there any homework? Unmute yourself,
So,
please. Yeah.
names of
So, what were the names? 4 names are mentioned. What are the 4 names?
want Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karn.
Okay. So any idea as to why these four names? Why these specifically four names? That was the question. Any idea? Parthada, Raghuji,
Um, I will give it a try.
sure.
I am sure that will be wrong.
That's a very good place to start.
uh, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna to kill these four characters.
Mhm.
And your question was why specifically these four names? What do they represent?
Correct.
So I was thinking about the characteristics of these four people, and with my limited knowledge of what all they did, I came to the conclusion that Drona, first was Drona's name. He is in Mahabharata. He is uh, somebody who lacks discrimination, the power of discrimination, and
Very
that's the
nice.
reason why he fought for Kauravas.
Very
Though
nice.
maybe he loved Arjuna very much, wanted to do not take Kaurava's side. This is one. Bhishma, I see him as somebody as an epitome of inaction. He is full of virtues, but even Draupadi was being insulted in the open court, he kept silent. So he is a man, I think he cannot go against injustice. He's a man of inaction, which Krishna in any case doesn't at all like. Then Jayadratha is, of course, a evil soul, and he full of treachery. He even abducted Draupadi. So, and he was released by Bhima and others, and he again came back and did the same thing. So he is. So these are all negative qualities. And Karna. Now, I was a little confused about Karna because he is basically a good man, but I think Krishna took his name because he was a flawed man. He had a lot of ethical and moral dilemma, and that also could be the reason why he took Duryodhana's side. So what Krishna basically is asking Arjuna, that you kill these qualities, in a way when he said you slay these people.
Okay. Very nice. Raghuji, you have any thoughts?
So I had a slightly different take also on this, in this that who are these people and what are the types of people that Krishna wants Arjuna to be willing to go ahead and slay. Drona was the teacher, the guru, whom he said right in the first chapter, they are my guru, he is my family elder, Bhishma. So he is now telling, okay, these are those roles that you respect. Karna was actually a friend also. There were scenes during the time when the five Panchapandavas were in disguise, where they were kind of abused by Duryodhana, and it was Karna because their chariot had got stuck, and Bhima was pushing from one side. Karna actually got down and went to the other wheel and pushed from the other side to help. Okay, so Karna is also, in a sense, a friend, but still, if he's doing wrong, you go ahead and go against him. I was a bit confused about Jayadratha because I forgot what was Jayadratha's role in the Mahabharata, so I needed to understand. But to me, it was like, these are the people that you normally respect, but you have to see that even people whom you respect, if they are doing wrong, you must be willing to go and eliminate them.
So basically, firstly, we have to understand this particular shloka has to come from multiple layers. At a layer where we are talking in terms of Dhrtarashtra, remember that Dhrtarashtra is being told about the Bhagavad Gita on the 10th day of the battle. Remember, we have seen this. right? In the first shloka itself, what were they doing? That is the question, right? What are they doing? What were they doing? So the 10th day, Bhishma has already fallen, right? Not dead. Bhishma died much later, right? Bhishma died after the war got ended. The year changed into the Uttarayana, and then he took waited for the Ekadashi for him to take his departure. Now, Bhishma has already fallen. And at that point of time, the entire this is being told to Dhrtarashtra. So what is the first layer here? That Krishna is telling him, look, Bhishma, Drona, Jayadratha, and Karna, the 4 of the biggest warriors that are on your side, O Dhrtarashtra, they have already been destroyed by time, by the all-consuming Kala. And of that, one has already come true. Bhishma is already dead. Or at least knocked out of the war. He's already dead. He's knocked out of the war. So the other 3 are also going to die. It is still time. It is still time. Remember that Sanjaya is very partisan, right? He is our special correspondent from the Pandava side reporting to the Kaurava side. So you have to understand that he's going to be very partisan in his approach to telling messages to Dhritarashtra. So it's very clear. He also uses the word Kiriti. Kiriti, crowned. Who gave him the crown? When Indra, when Arjuna went to Swargaloka and acquired the various Divyastras, Indra was helped in killing the Nivata Kavachas. Nivata Kavachas were the type of asuras who would multiply in, so basically sort of a coronavirus. So they were destroyed by the Pashupata Astra. The Pashupata Astra itself also is a self-regenerating Astra. So from 1 to 10 to 100 to 1000 and so on and so forth. So it would multiply and be able to kill all the Nivata Kavachas in one go. So first, Arjuna got the Pashupata Astra, went to Swarga, killed the Nivata Kavachas, using that as it takes a boon from Indra. And along with the boon, Indra gave him a jeweled crown, which Indra therefore therefore Arjuna got a name, Kiriti. Again, subliminal message. Look, he is a crowned one. Who gets crowned? Chakravarti Rajas get crowned. So he's already been crowned by Indra. Your son is not going to win this war. So at the Dhritarashtra level, Dhritarashtra Sanjaya level, there is a message that is happening, right? There is a message that is happening at the Arjuna level also. Who are the 4 most important warriors about whom Arjuna would have had some doubt? Number 1, obviously, is Dronacharya. Dronacharya cannot be killed as long as he has a weapon in his hand. As long as he has a weapon in his hand, he cannot be killed. How was he killed? He was killed by telling him that Ashwathama Hato, right? And then Narova Kunjarova was whispered. Narova Kunjarova means either the human being or an elephant, I don't know. Narova Kunjarova, Ashwathama Hataha. Ashwathama was the name of an elephant which was killed by Bhim. Bhim went and hit the elephant on the skull with his gada, and the elephant died. And immediately shouted from there, I have killed Ashwathama. And Dronacharya got dejected because he lived his entire life with Putra Moha, right? Remember the story of the milk and how he went to get milk from, get a cow from Drupada, and the whole story started over there. So this entire backstory, you see, these are all playoffs that are happening. And it's important for us to read the Mahabharata to get context. So here is the contextual thing. So here is Ashwathama Hato. And therefore, the moment Ashwathama Hata, he dropped his weapons and he turned to Yudhishthira and he said, Yudhishthira said, Ashwathama Hataha. Loudly. And then said, Narova Kunjarova. Kunjara means elephant. Either human being or elephant, I don't know. Right? But that was not heard. The moment Yudhishthira said, Ashwathama Hata, Krishna took his Panchajanya, Arjuna took his Devadatta. Remember the names of these Shankas? We saw them in chapter 1. So he took the Shankas and they started blowing them. So the Narova Kunjarova got drowned out. And Dronacharya sat down in Yogasana. Drishtadumna, who was born for the purpose of killing Dronacharya, took his sword and chopped off his head. Right? So number 1, Dronacharya, who cannot be killed unless the he decides to drop his weapons. Bhishma, who cannot be killed, who cannot die until he decides that he will die. Right? Jayadratha, double boon, two boons. Number one boon, his father. He had done a tapasya and had a boon which said, anyone who lets my son's head roll onto the ground, that person's head will shatter into 1,000 pieces. Which means if he was killed and if his head fell on the ground, then the killer would die. That was his first boon. The second boon, Parthoda, you mentioned that he abducted Draupadi. When he abducted Draupadi, then they caught him, they punished him. And in retaliation, he did Shiva Tapasya. And doing Shiva Tapasya, he got a boon that he can defeat 4 of the Pandavas together. Arjuna, he will not be able to defeat, but the other 4 together, he will be able to defeat, which is why he blocked them when Abhimanyu entered into the Chakravyuha. So Jayadratha, Karna. While Karna and Arjun may be almost equal in their battle, Karna had a special missile which was given to him by Indra himself, which was unfailing missile. And because of which Karna could have killed in Arjuna also. So Krishna very specifically mentions the names of these 4. But he's not leaving it at these 4. He says, Tathananyanapi yodha viran, right? Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadhratam cha karnam tathananyapi yodha viran maya hatastvam jahima vyasthita yudhyasva jetasi rane sapatnan. So go and fight against your enemies. And he says other brave warriors. Other brave warriors will include warriors from your side also. It is not that death has not touched the others. For that matter, depending on the version that you are reading, at the end of the Mahabharata, there were either 10 people alive or 18 people alive. Everybody else has died. Everybody else. Right? Everybody else having died means, remember 18 Akshauhinis. Each Akshauhini having chariots, horses, elephants and foot soldiers. Right? 129,600 foot soldiers. Each charioteer. Each chariot had a charioteer and 2 parshvadas. 2 people to protect the wheels. They would run along with the charioteer. Right? So there were 3 people along with this. There were stable keepers. People who were looking at the people who were taking care of the elephants and the horses when they came back. There were 4 people with the elephant. Right? An elephant had 4 parshadas. So all of these together, each Akshauhini is almost 3 lakhs of people. 18 Akshauhinis, 54 lakh people destroyed. Who destroyed them? Who destroyed them? Krishna says, I destroyed them. I have already destroyed them. He says, Maya hatastvam jahima vyastita. You are only an instrument. You are only an actor acting out the script which has already been written. The script is already written. The actors are going to do what the script has said. And that is why I said last time also, Sri Ram Prasad, the Kali devotee, says that Ami Jantro Tumi Jontri. I am the instrument, you are the instrument driver. You are the person who drives the Ami Ratho Tumi Rothi. I am the chariot, you are the charioteer. This is the attitude. We will see this attitude when we get to Bhakti Yoga, but this is the attitude. So he's driving this very hard. And therefore, let's go to verse number 35. Rinkuji, the method we do here is I recite one line and you are expected to follow on mute. You're expected to follow. So we will do each line twice and then we will do the entire shloka together so that we learn how to recite the shlokas also. Yes, Raghuji?
One thing I found very interesting in this is, see, Krishna has gone and shown him the Vishwarupa. And of course, Arjuna gets all shaken up and at the terrible, which is terrible. It's literally overwhelming is the way I would see it, rather than terrible. Yes, it's got stuff which is scary, but it's got stuff. Obviously, even within that Vishwarupa, there'll be stuff that is amazing so it's overwhelming. But then when Arjuna says, you please show me back that old Rupa, what does Krishna say? Krishna says, what have I been telling you from chapter 2? Yes, give up the kartritva bhava and go just do the task that you're supposed to do. Don't get attached to the results. Just go ahead and do the task. So I think again he's emphasizing that message. After all that amazing vision, he comes back to the same underlying message.
Which is very true. What is true is, one thing you have to understand, Krishna is most consistent. Right across the 700 shlokas, wherever Krishna is speaking, you will not find him inconsistent with his message. A lot of people try to bring in force fit certain philosophy because of whatever, but you have to get into context and see what did Krishna say before this, what does he say after this, and you will find that such force fitting doesn't work with Krishna because of the fact that he's consistent. That is number one. Number two, see, what is true at the microcosm is also true at the macrocosm. So when we are looking at each individual me, is also true at a macrocosmic level. Third is that Gita's message cannot be absorbed by one Vishwarupa darshan. Gita's message requires a intense amount of manan, a sort of reflection, without which it cannot be absorbed. I remember this. So I think I mentioned this to you yesterday, Raghuji, when we were just generally chatting, is that Swami Swarupanand, when he was somewhere, when he gave a lecture, and somebody came to him, this was somewhere in the West, and somebody came to him and said, I want to start, I don't know where to start. Should I start off with the Bhagavad Gita? And he immediately said, that would be a disaster. So this person was shocked. He said, what do you mean it would be a disaster? He said, first read the Ramayana, then read the Srimad Bhagavad, then read the Mahabharata, and then only can you understand the PhD level of work that you are trying to understand, which is Bhagavad Gita. We are very fortunate that we have Gurudev who has translated it and made it very class 3, class 4 level. हम लोग को समझ में आ जाता है because of him, right? But and then Gurudev himself had said, once somebody asked, Sri Krishna himself stood there and gave Gita Upadesha to Arjuna, and yet Arjuna did not understand. And Gurudev very smilingly said, yes, he did not have Chinmaya to translate. See, it's a conversation, and I am not able to get into reflecting on this conversation. Then I am getting an experience at that point of time, which is obviously going to be mind-boggling. Right? But if you are prepared for that universality, then it is blissful. It is not terrifying. It is blissful. What does Sri Ramakrishna say? I cut her with her own sword of discrimination. Right? That divinely beautiful form of the Divine Mother with which he was in extreme love. He says, I took her sword and I cut her asunder. I'm literally quoting from the English translation. I cut her asunder, using her sword of discrimination. And then there were waves of golden light, and I was in bliss. I was in bliss, not in terror, not in fear. Why? Because he was prepared. Arjuna is not prepared. And therefore, Arjuna is in this terror. So, despite the terror, Arjuna moves into a very beautiful area. So, let us see what he says. Sanjaya uvacha etat shrutva vachanam keshavasya kritanjalirvepamana kiriti etat shrutva vachanam keshavasya kritanjalirvepamana kiriti namaskritva bhuya evaham krishnam sagadgadam bhita pranamya namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam sagadgadam bhita pranamya Sanjaya uvacha एतत् श्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्वेपमानः किरीटी नमस्कृत्वा भूय एवाहं कृष्णं सगद्गदं भीतः प्रणम्य. Word by word meaning. Sanjaya uvacha. Sanjay said, etat, thus, shrutva, having heard, vachanam, words, keshavasya, keshava, Krishna, keshavasya, of Krishna. Kritanjali means holding palms together. So it means namaskara mudra. Kritanjali. Vepamanaha. Vepamana, we have come across the word Vepamana earlier. Vepamana, trembling. Vepamanaha. Kiriti. I explained Kiriti just a little while back. What is the person who is crowned? Arjuna. Namaskritva, bowing him with palms joined. Huya. Again. Evaha. Eva. Eaha. Eva aha means again indeed spoke. Krishnam to Krishna. Not Krishna. Krishnam to Krishna. Ta gadgadam. Gadgadam means in a faltering voice. You know, when your voice is choked. And sometimes at points of time, you might have seen that happen with when I'm talking and I suddenly get choked up. So that happens, right? So that is called gadgada. Your voice throat gets choked up. You got overcome with emotion. So gadgada. Bhita, overwhelmed with fear. Pranamya, bowed down. So now, see again, at the Dhrtarashtra level, whenever Sanjay is speaking, we have to understand why he is giving this message and what is he conveying to Dhrtarashtra. Even after 10 days have passed, Arjuna is trembling with fear. Now, Dhrtarashtra can't see. But if I tell you that everybody is around you is fearful, you will also feel afraid, right? Right? You will get along carried away. So he's actually trying to create fear even in Dhrtarashtra. So he's a bhita, right? Very overwhelmed with fear. He bows down and he says something. Let us see what he says. Arjuna uvacha, verse number 36. Arjuna uvacha thane rishikesha tava prakirtya. Thane rishikesha tava prakirtya. Jagat prahrishyat yatanurajyate cha. Jagat prahrishyat anurajyate cha. Hane rishikesha tava prakirtya. Jagat prahrishyat anurajyate cha. Rakshamsi bhitani dishodravanti. Rakshamsi bhitani dishodravanti. Sarve namasyanti cha siddha sanghaha. Sarve namasyanti cha siddha sanghaha. Rakshamsi bhitani dishodravanti. Sarve namasyanti cha siddha sanghaha. Arjuna uvacha sthane rishikesha tava prakritya. Jagat prahishyatyanurajyate cha. Rakshamsi bhitani dishodravanti. Sarve namasyanti cha siddha sanghaha. Word meaning sthane. Arjuna vacha. Arjuna said sthane. It is apt. It is apt. Rishikesha. Rishikesha, the word Rishikesha has two meanings. At a physical level, it means short-haired. It means short-haired, right? Rishika is short-haired, right? Rishika is short. Kesha is hair, short-haired, right? So Krishna had short hair. Rishikesha. That is not the meaning, right? That is the physical meaning. Rishika also means cows, right? Rishika means cows. So, Lord of the cows. Now, that could be one meaning because of the Srimad Bhagavata, where we have seen that he was a cowherd. However, at an esoteric level, Rishika, cows, also mean senses. Senses, right? Which is why he is called Govinda. Govinda, he who controls the senses. Rishikesha, who has already controlled his own senses. Rishikesha, he who is in control of his own senses. Rishikesha, so he says, sthane, it is apt. Rishikesha, tava, yours, prakirtya, kirtanam. We have seen kirtanam means to praise. Prakarshena kirtanam. Good praise, in great praise. Prakirtya. Jagat, this universe. Prahishyati, rejoices, right? Rejoices. Anurajyate, is in love with. Anurajyate, cha, and Rakshamsi, the demons, the evil forces, Hitani are afraid. Dishaha, in directions, Dravanti, they are fleeing, they are running away. Sarve, all, Namasyanti, bow down to you. Cha, and Siddha Sanghaha, those who are perfected beings, they are all bowing down to you. I think by now we have understood the hidden, the layered meaning of this, right? This is not a physical meaning of saying, oh, there are some Rakshasas which are running around and there are some Siddhas who are standing. It is talking about our own qualities. So it is that when you are in this presence, okay, not now. This story has to come. It almost came here now, but now I won't tell you the story now. I'll tell you when we are doing chapter 12. So, but essentially, see, when you are in the presence and you are one with that presence, there is very, very little chance for you to be thinking anything else at that point of time. Right? Just the earlier session where I was talking about this, there was this beautiful example we have. There is a temple called Guruvayur Temple in Kerala, right? Near Cochin. And the temple is supposed to be, the idol is supposed to be, it's a renovated idol now, but the original idol is supposed to be that which was worshipped by Sri Krishna himself as their family deity. And there is something called Nirmalya Darshan that happens at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. Nirmalya means that which has been discarded. Discarded what? Discarded, the flowers are discarded, whatever has been worn at night is discarded. The darshan of that is supposed to be very powerful. So people line up for hours together through the night and wait for getting darshan for the Nirmalya Darshan at 3:30 in the morning. And they say that the belief is that through the night, the devas come and worship the Lord. And therefore, when the door opens, the image of the Lord stores a lot of extra power. And therefore, you are partaking of that extra power. And therefore, you line up to see that. And I typically say, what bullshit. I'm sorry to use that word, but it's absolute. See, what is the divine? We say, avyaya, right? That which does not change. What do we say? Kutastha, right? That which is an anvil on which all the changes will happen. So you are saying the infinite has degrees, more power, less power, sometimes more power, sometimes less power. Sorry, that's not how it works. It works with your receptivity. So now think, you have stayed awake almost the whole night. You've woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning, taken a bath with cold water, dressed up in fresh and new clothes. You stand in the line and you are waiting in the line. And in the line, everybody is chanting Narayana, 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, etc., etc. Om Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. They are all chanting. You are chanting with them. Now, what has happened to your mind? Your mind has absolutely stilled itself. And in that process, you land up over there and suddenly the door opens and you are there in front of the Lord. Tears flow. What happened? You were more receptive. It isn't that the Lord became more powerful and gave you more. How can the infinite become more powerful? The infinite is the infinite. It cannot change. It is unchangeable. The definition of the infinite, we said, was avyaya. Right? Sanatana. These are words we have used in the Bhagavad Gita. So when we are looking at the Nirmalya Darshan or we are looking at any such darshan, and what we are seeing here with Arjuna, in that presence, what happens? When that thing, for that second, for that moment, that happens, right? Raghuji, you went through that, you walked through those 45 kilometers, you reach those 18 steps, you climb up the 18 steps, go to the Shabrimala temple, and then you stand in front of the Lord with the irumudi on your head. What happened? Tears flowed automatically. Right? What happened? You prepared yourself for 41 days through tapasya and you'll end up there for that one glimpse of 2 seconds. But could you have been thinking anything else at that 2 seconds? No, not possible. Right? Parthoda, you and I went to Kailash together. When what happened? You land up in front of that north face. Suddenly all the clouds moved. And all of us, what happened? Suddenly, right? We were at Mansarovar. Mansarovar was visible. Kailash was not. And then the clouds moved. What happened? Why did everybody suddenly fall flat? Could you be thinking at that point of time, what will the McDonald's burger taste like? What will the the Rasagulla tastes like. Right? That doesn't come. Rakshamsi disho dravanti. That is what has happened. Right? Yes, sir, Raghuji.
Actually, when I went, remember when we got to the 18 steps, they stopped everybody and they cleaned the steps. You mentioned, for the first time, you actually see the 18 steps itself. Right?
I wasn't there. I wasn't there with you. I was far
with
behind.
Govind Guruswami.
Yeah.
So, and then we go up and I'm saying, I go into the and I said, what have I done? My tears were, I could not do the full, the long yatra. This one, I could not stand in the Pamba to see the Jyoti, though I managed to see the Jyoti also. What have I done that you have given me all this thing? I was just crying. That was only the reason I was crying. I was like, how? I have no standing here. Why are you allowing me this?
So that is what happens. That right? That is why he says that the Siddha Sangha are standing and praising. So it is at that point of time when your mind, at least temporarily, has completely purified itself in that presence. And that is what he's saying. Rakshamsi disho dravanti. And the Siddha Sangha are all in praises for you. Carrying on, there are 11 shlokas from 36 onwards. There are 11 shlokas which are in praise of this ultimate reality that is being viewed by Arjuna. But to cross-reference, and this is something I love doing, that you see there are other two stutis that I would like you to think about. I have talked about them earlier. I haven't mentioned them or recited them for you. One is Gajendra Stuti. Right? You know the story. Right? All of you know the story. Gajendra, he got caught by the crocodile, and then for thousands of years they battled, and ultimately he realized that he can't win this battle, so he started praising the Lord, and the Lord then appeared and cut off the crocodile. The crocodile was actually an Apsara, a Gandharva who had taken the form of a crocodile based on a curse. The elephant was also cursed. He was a king called Indradyumna who was cursed. So Indradyumna and Hu came back into their original forms, praised the Lord, and went away. But before he killed the crocodile, before the Lord killed the crocodile, the Gajendra was praised the Lord in a very beautiful stotra. And in the beginning of the stotras itself, see, he says, Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmayat Etachit Ekatmakam Purushaya Adi Bijaya Pareshaya Bhidhimahi. See who is praising. He is not talking of Vishnu. He is talking of that Parabrahman, Adi, from whom all has emanated. Right? It is only later on, after the 11th shloka, that he describes. So, the beautiful commentator, his name is Govindaraja. Govindaraja is Vaishnavite commentator on the Srimad Bhagavad. And in that, he says, see, what happened is, when Gajendra was doing this stuti, he called on that which is the unformed and so on and so forth. So as he started praising, then all three of them, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they all started getting up, taking their weapons, saying that, okay, we all have to go because he's calling the formless. The formless can't appear. It is already there. So we have to manifest ourselves over there. So then suddenly he starts saying, but you are four-handed and you have a chakra. So everybody looks at Vishnu and says, okay, no, you have to go, not us. So then Vishnu is delegated, and Vishnu goes on his Garud and he goes and kills the crocodile. So the commentator actually writes this in a very humorous way. So Gajendra Stuti, another Stuti that is also very beautiful, is Bhakta Dhruva Stuti. Dhruva Maharaja's Stuti, in that also, he very beautifully describes, he says, Bhumi, Rapo, Naloh, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhire, Vacha, Bhutadi, Adi, Prakriti, Yasya, Rupam, Nato, Smitam. Who is he bowing down to? He is bowing down to the manifestation of he who has manifested all these five elements and has become these five elements. He has become these five elements. You see, It is only in Sanatana Dharma, and I'm not saying this to be judgmental about any other Dharma, but it is only in Sanatana that we actually believe that God is omnipresent. Right? We use the words of omnipresence in other religions. But do we actually say or believe that he is omnipresent? Will we say that this laptop is the Lord? In Sanatana, yes, it is the Lord. Right? He was the pillar and he manifested in a different form from the pillar. And the pillar and the manifested form from the pillar are identical. He is actually omnipresent. So that is why we say in the Upanishad, what do we say? Isha vasya idagam sarvam tena taktena bunjitam. Right? He who has not only manifested this universe, but also become the universe. The universe itself is nothing but. And hence, you get to string theory. And in string theory, you go back into the string and you say, oh, the string has nothing. And all the strings are the same. That's what Vedas say, na? That we are all the same. It is only all this play that we have created. So going back to Raghuji's gamer theory, you take the Matrix, red pill or the blue pill. Rinkuji, you've seen the Matrix, the movie Matrix, right? So you see, you have to take the blue pill. You've got to take the blue pill. And the blue pill is this picture. And you take the blue pill and the reality changes for you. And you realize that what you were seeing as reality is not the reality. You see those numbers that actually are creating the reality and you're outside it. That essence of what we are talking about is what even Dhruva Maharaj says. Dhruva Maharaj in very short, around 24, 25 verses. And Gajendra Stuti is also around 25, 30 verses. Very beautiful very beautiful stutis in the Srimad Bhagavat. But carrying on to what he's saying. He's saying in the next verse, in verse number 37, and 37 we'll do, and then 38 will be homework. Kasmat cha tena nameran mahatman. Kasmat cha tena nameran mahatman. Gariyase brahmanopyadikartre. Gariyase brahmanopyadikartre. Kasmat cha tena namerana mahatman. Gariyase brahmanopyadikartre. Ananta devesha jagannivasa. Ananta devesha jagannivasa. Tvamaksharam sadasatparam yat. Sadasattatparam yat. Tvamaksharam sadasattatparam yat. Ananta devesha jagannivasa. Tvamaksharam sadasattatparam yat. Kasmat cha tena nameran mahatman. Gariyase brahmanopyadikartre. Ananta devesha jagannivasa. Tvamaksharam sadasattatparam yat. Kasmat, why, cha and te, you, na nameran, should they not bow down? Nameran, bow down, not. Mahatman, O great one. Gariyase, who are greater? Brahmanaha, than Brahma, right? From Brahma, greater than Brahma. Api, even. Adikartre, the original creator. Ananta, limitless one, he who has no end. Devesha, Lord of the Devatas. Jagannivasa, refuge of this entire Jagat. Tvam, you. Aksharam, for whom there is no kshay, who is imperishable, for whom there is no decay. Sat, asat. Now, okay, sat, asat, meaning? Anybody? These are all revision. We have done these words before. Sat, asat. Unmute.
Real and unreal?
No.
Yeah.
No?
Existing and non-existing, manifest and unmanifest.
Very good.
Manifested.
Correct. Sat means that which is manifest, right? Not truth. Because it is manifest, it is true. From which the word satya comes. Satya means that which is true because it is manifest. Asat means that which is not manifest. That's all. So, asato ma sadgamaya means from the unmanifest take us to that which is manifest. That from therefore, that which is eternally true, that which is existing, Asat means that which is not existing. Untruth does not exist. Right? Untruth cannot exist. But truth always exists. So hence take us from there. So Asat and Sat. So he says, manifest and not manifest, you are beyond. Param. So he says, oh great one, you are beyond Brahma, who is the original creator of this universe. Why should they not bow down to you? Oh limitless one. Oh Lord of the Devatas. Oh refuge of the universe, Jagannivasa. You are the imperishable reality, Aksharam, beyond both the manifest and the non-manifest. Beyond Sat and Asat, you are that which is the reality. Now, some people use this and define this in a very interesting way. And I promise that I tell you whenever there is a very gross difference. So what happens is, in the Gaudiya Vaishnavite philosophy, they use the word Brahma here, not as Brahma, the creator, but Brahman, the unmanifest reality that we talk of as everlasting, ever existing, in the Advaitic oneness that we talk about. So he's saying here, that is unmanifest, right? And what is manifest? The external world is manifest. You are beyond that. So they say Brahman is the effulgence of the body of the Lord. You have to penetrate and go beyond the body or beyond the effulgence to get to see the Lord himself, who is in the form of eternal young boy called Krishna, and he lives in a place called Goloka Vrindavan. Now this is the Dvaitic Gaudiya Vaishnavite view. Right, I'll come back to you, Raghuji. Now, Gurudev is very clear here. And all translators, however, other than the Gaudiya Vaishnavite translators, have used the word here Brahma as the word Brahmanaha as than Brahma, the creator, not Brahmana, not Brahman. So that is the. So I'm going back to authorized translations, not necessarily viewpoints. So that is number one, right? The second here is, when you say it is beyond the manifest and the unmanifest, what are we talking about? We are talking about our understanding of what we are relating to, and not the ultimate reality. We have limited understanding. And hence he uses the word, you are limitless. I cannot understand you. I cannot comprehend you. Right? Yes, Raghuji?
Yeah. So actually, I just got a little bit of an epiphany, again, relating to the gamer analogy. See, the one aspect where the gamer analogy fails is that the programmer is not the program. Okay. But I just realized that for the program to function perfectly, the programmer must infuse himself into the program. The program has to become sort of sentient so that it functions like the universe we see around. So we are saying the program is not programmed because the programs you have seen are not created by that supreme
Hold
entity.
on. Very nice conversation. So then he has also got to play the game. And when he plays the game, he has to also play the game according to the rules of the game.
Yes.
And therefore, when he comes down as an avatar, he is bound by the rules of the game also.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
I mean, it's an amazing analogy, actually.
So, okay.
That guy who put it together, that's amazing.
The guy who put it together is very interesting. The guy is called ChatGPT. Right? You remember, okay, so Rinkuji, you don't know the backstory here. What happened is, I was playing around with ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT some deep philosophical questions. And ChatGPT actually threw up a very interesting analogy for understanding Advaita Vedanta using the gamer analogy. You're in a virtual reality game where you are the gamer and how you get absorbed into the game. And ChatGPT actually came up with this as a very interesting analogy. And then what has happened is that Raghuji and I have been playing around with that analogy and finding more and more layers and depth to that particular analogy. So, and I think we should feed it back into ChatGPT so that other people benefit out of it. So anyway, So this is verse number 36. 38, I am going to do and tell you the word meanings, but I will leave it to you to analyze. Tamadi deva purusha puranas. Tamadi deva purusha puranas. Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam. Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam. Tvamadi deva purusha puranas. Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam. Vettasi vedyam cha param cha dhama. Vettasi vedyam cha param cha dhama. Tvaya tatam vishvamananta rupa. Tvaya tatam vishvamananta rupa. Vettasi vedyam cha param cha dhama. Tvaya tatam vishvamananta rupa. Tvamadidevah Purusha Puranas, Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam, Vettasi Vedyam cha Param cha Dhama, Tvaya Tatam Vishwamananta Rupa, Tvam, you Adideva, you are the original Deva. Purusha, the personality or the being. Purana, primeval. The one who is Pura Yata Navinaha. Pura means old, Navina means new. He who is not only old, but continuously renewing himself. Continuously renewing himself, right? You remember the story that we talked about, that we cannot take a bath in the same river twice. Right? The river has changed, you have changed, and everything around has also changed. So you cannot take a bath in the same river twice. Same way here, Purana. So Puranam, Tvam Asya, Tvam, you, Asya, this, Vishwasya, universe, Param, supreme, Nidhanam, resting place. Vettasi, knower, Asi, you, are Vedyam, the object of knowledge. Cha and Param, supreme, Cha and Dhama, abode. Tvaya, by you, Tvaya, by you, Tatam, pervaded, Vishwam, this universe, Ananta Rupa, possessor of infinite forms. He who has possessed infinite forms. Now, the first line, second line are reasonably easy to understand. The third line is the one which I want you to dwell on, right? He is called the Vettasi Vedyam. He who knows and he should be known, right? And I want you to do Manan through earlier sessions where we have talked about knowledge and the impact of knowledge, the essence of knowledge, what is the knowledge, what is the effect of knowledge, and so on and so forth, and try and figure out with some cross-referencing, and also see if in the Gita till now, till the 11th chapter, what has he talked about in terms of knowledge, and see whether that can help. Such concatenations are really help in learning the text much better. So that is why I'm getting to, we've got to chapter 11, and it's time that we start getting to be a little bit more deeper in our way of studying. So I want you to start doing cross-referencing and start working there. Rinkuji, you have my WhatsApp number. Anytime you have a doubt or a question, you are free to always just send it to me. I will try and address that doubt or question. If I feel that the doubt or question is something that is also apt for everybody else, then I'll tell you that, and then we'll take that up in the session itself. Else, I will definitely respond to you on the WhatsApp message. There is a series called Bhagavad Geeta Hindi, which is in 300 episodes, which contains the entire thing, chapter by chapter, all the shlokas. And I recommend to you to go to that one rather than look at the ones which are latest, which are chapter 10, chapter 11, because in this series, I think we started recording and putting up onto the onto YouTube, I think only from chapter 8 or 9, right? Not before. Sorry?
Yeah, I have the recording right from the first one, complete.
So then why don't you put it up somewhere where I can then take it and put it into the YouTube channel as chapter wise?
I will send you the link to the folder.
Perfect.
It's on OneDrive, so you can just download from there.
Perfect. That's beautiful. Then we can do that. So then, but in any case, you can start off with whatever we were doing, and start with this third line. I think you need to do some homework there. And Abhishek, no cheating, huh? Do you need to? Abhishek is part of the face-to-face classes also. So he's on chapter 12 in the face-to-face class, and therefore he has notes on chapter 11, which he can go back to. So now I want you to do Manan independently, not with your notes. Okay? Let's end. Yes, Rinkuji, you want to say something?
No, I just said I have a lot of catching up to do, so I will, but I'll try to squeeze in wherever I can find the time to do it. Yeah.
Sure. शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम